This evening we're going to talk about an important piece of business called the Trans-Pacific Partnership. The Trans-Pacific Partnership is a proposed treaty, trade pact, called by many different names, but it has profound implications for everything that we have been talking about over the past couple of days. My name is David Brodwin, and I'll be moderating this session. I want to start out with just a couple words on my organization so you know where I'm coming from in these remarks tonight. American Sustainable Business Council is an advocacy group of businesses Thank you. We're an advocacy group of businesses that are sustainable business and socially responsible business and small businesses that are committed to building a local economy, vibrant local economies that nurture community and balance profit with people and planet in what we all have come to call the triple bottom line. Our aim as an organization has been to send a new message to the policymakers and a new message to media about what business in America really wants. We stand opposite the U.S. Chamber on many things, opposite the NFIB, opposite NAM, and we represent the millions of business owners, executives, and investors and others who do believe that it's possible to have an economy that is in balance, to run an economy with a sense of stewardship, to run an economy with a sense that the future matters. Many, many business people believe that prosperity and sustainability in all its forms go hand in hand, and they are not in opposition. And that we believe that by bringing this notion into awareness and into the public debate, that we can help break the sense that the business world is monolithic and make possible a new kind of debate and a new kind of consensus around these issues. So that's what we're about, and that's why we are very concerned with TPP and what it threatens to do to the whole agenda that we all share. So this is about an issue, and this is an opportunity to learn more about it, but it is also about an opportunity to take action. And I'm going to be handing out a sheet to you all which just asks for 90 seconds of your time tomorrow to make a phone call. 90 seconds of your time. That's all we need. But as you'll hear in the next hour and a half, it's crucially important that we begin to get out in front of this issue, or it will be too late to stop it, too late to change it, too late to do what's necessary to make sure that the economy really does serve the people. So let me pause now and hand this out. Would you mind just taking this and seating it around? Thank you. Let me put this all in context. This is basically a trade pact. The world of trade pacts has changed dramatically over the past few years. Once upon a time, trade pacts were about reducing tariffs and reducing quotas so that countries could trade with each other and people could get the benefits of lower prices. Now, at one point, when tariffs were really high and were widespread, this was a good thing. And arguably, a lot of growth happened and a lot of progress happened because there has been an ongoing effort to reduce tariffs. But that was just the first epoch. The second epoch developed when it became clear that tariffs were already fairly low, but that many countries and companies had set up structural barriers to trade. Complex systems of distribution, for example, that made it impossible for another country or company to trade. And so the focus turned towards these. Now, some of this was good because, for example, there are a lot of structural barriers that are bad, a lot of industries that are protected and that do not really serve anyone's interest with the current arrangement. But now we're in the third epoch, and the third epoch is really different. The third epoch of trade agreements is basically a means to destroy the power of governments to regulate on behalf of their citizens. It is a large-scale transfer of power from the public sector to the private sector, and it creates the means for private sector multinationals, typically, to sue governments and force them to change their policies, even when those policies were set by a democratic vote of the people involved. So this third wave of trade pacts is profoundly important and potentially profoundly destructive. But the challenge is trade is boring. Trade is banal. People do not pay attention to trade. People skip those articles in the newspaper and they turn the dial on the radio and they do not want to hear about this. So a very, very dangerous and destructive thing can be done with very little public awareness and input because people aren't paying attention. So we need to change all that. The change is starting to happen. There was, for the first time, a New York Times op-ed on this issue in today's paper. I've been writing about it in U.S. News. Many other people have started to write about it, but it's only the beginning, and each of you needs to participate in getting the word out. So let me start the panel now. The panel is going to explore different aspects of this, and I'll introduce each panelist one by one as they're getting up to speak. But we want to cover what this is. What we want to cover, what are the impacts if this thing gets through the process and becomes law. And then we're going to spend time talking about how to fight it. And we're going to get practical about that. What are the key things that need to be done now in order to make sure this thing gets stopped. I'm going to start with Georgia Kelly. Georgia is the founder and executive director of the Praxis Peace Institute in Sonoma. For the past 5 years, Praxis has focused on economic policies and how they impact peace, social justice, environmental sustainability, and economic democracy. Georgia has directed peace-building conferences in both Europe and the U.S. She works to educate the public about new economic models and has led seminars at the Mondragon Cooperatives in Spain, about which she will also speak this evening. Currently, she's organizing a conference for a year from now called Economics for a Sustainable Future, which will extend and build on the great work that we've all seen and done together over the past couple days. So let's welcome Georgia.